Fishing at the bookends of the open water season is really some of the best fishing that you get of the entire year, both spring and fall. And that typically means cool or cold weather fishing situations. So today we're gonna go through a system of clothing that I like to wear for those fishing situations. Now we've all been in the scenario where you're excited to go fishing, you just grab your heavy ice fishing bibs, you grab a heavy jacket, you wanna get out the boat and go fishing quickly. Inevitably, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're gonna be too hot, too cold, your range of motion is gonna be restricted, you're just not gonna be on your A game. It's great to have that super heavy gear for really cold weather, ice fishing conditions where you might be sitting in a flip-up house or just, fishing near a hole, that's great. But if you wanna be casting, you wanna be mobile, you wanna be figure eighting, you just need to be moving around the boat, it's really difficult to do so in a setup like that. So here's what I like to wear in cold weather situations. So if we go out in the morning and there's ice on the boat, I'm comfortable, and as the day gets warmer, I'm able to shed layers and still be comfortable with a great range of motion and regulate my temperature really well. So let's get started with what we call base layering. So getting a layer of clothing that's next to your skin. So this is definitely not cotton. You're gonna want a merino wool or some type of synthetic material that's going to wick moisture away from your body. That's simply the foundation of all of this. If your body's wet, you're gonna be cold. So I start with both a top and bottom base layer. This goes right up against my skin, and this is, again, the foundation of this whole system. So it's lightweight, it's form-fitting, it's wicking moisture away from your skin. From there, it's more of that mid-layer type of stuff. So I've got a long sleeve shirt here. This is a quarter zip, so I've got a little bit of neck protection with this too. You're losing a lot of heat from your head and neck. So neck protection is a really big deal. Again, this is lightweight, but it's trapping another layer of air between my base layer and this shirt here. So I've got a little bit more insulation there. Going from this mid layer, staying with the upper body, I'm going to definitely put on a hoodie. Not a cotton hoodie like this. It's gonna get wet, it's gonna get heavy, you're gonna get cold in cotton. So this one that I've got here is actually, see, it's quilted, so it's got a lot of ability to trap that warm air, and it still gives you a nice range of motion. And then just a nice pair of pants. They've just come so far so quickly, that just have a little bit of stretch to them too. That way, you're just not restricted. You're always looking for that range of motion and not being restricted. So pair of insulated pants, again, not cotton, synthetic material, really great deal. Now, when it comes to head, hands, and feet, these are the places where you're gonna get cold the quickest. You're obviously gonna lose a lot of heat from your head, but you're also not gonna be able to fish if you can't feel your hands, and you're gonna wanna go home if your feet are cold. Now, you can wear a big, heavy pair of insulated boots. Sure, that's great, but a lot of times I like to wear a lighter boot, and these toe warmers like this that got a little adhesive that just tacks right onto the toe of your sock. It removes really easily. These things will save your day, and they go through most of the day. The other thing I carry in my pocket is I carry a bunch of these in the boat, and I carry them ice fishing. And I'll just open these up, shake one up, and I'll put them in each of my pockets to start the day. That way, if my hands do get cold, I can warm them up really quickly. So now let's jump into the actual clothing that we're wearing on hands, head, and feet. Let's start at the bottom. So just like with the base layering on your body, I've got a sock. Again, a poly or a merino sock is a really great thing, shed moisture. If you're fishing rubber boots, of course, there's a lot of precip in the fall and spring, so you're often out in wet conditions. So having something next to your feet that's gonna wick moisture away is really big. So having a thin, light sock as your base layer on your feet, and then stepping that up from there into a heavier grade sock. And you might have to even go 2 or 3, or just get a 2 or 3 layers, or get a heavier grade sock if you need it. But man, I'm telling you what, just putting these toe warmers, it's just an amazing deal. You can really go less clothing and stay warm. Now with the hands, I carry 2 sets of gloves, either a heavy glove or a mitten, and that's when I'm traveling, not actively fishing, just something to give you more protection from the weather. And then for fishing, these gloves are amazing. These are those arid gloves from Blackfish, and you want to get a pair of gloves that's form-fitting. Don't get these that are too big. You're almost better off to go too small, and this is going to give you great dexterity. You can see that fits my hand perfectly. I've got touch screen, screens in my boat. Also, obviously your phone is touchscreen, so it's got the little pads on both the thumb and finger that allows you to still work your electronics, which is great. But then you've just got that great dexterity. I can cast all day long. They're waterproof, so my hands aren't getting wet. The glove isn't real bulky, so it's not getting weighted down. So that's just a great glove to have when I'm actually up and casting. And then if I'm transitioning in between spots, not actively fishing, I'll just pop on these heavier duty gloves. So that's a really, really nice system that I've got for hands. And then moving on to the head. So these things are amazing. These neck gaiters are just so awesome. So I started wearing these as soon as I saw them 20 years ago. I started buying these things and I keep them all over the place. So if you can keep your neck warm, you get that, you're often fishing with the breeze at your back, and that's where you just feel that cold creeping in all the time is on the back of your neck. So you can just wear this almost like a scarf around your neck, or if it gets really cold, of course, you can pull it up over your head and get some additional protection. But this is almost this is one of the most important things I feel like for having in your boat to stay warm. And then of course a stocking cap is great. So if I was driving to the lake, I would have basically the stuff on that I talked about before, my base layer, my mid layer, pants, and hoodie. And then once I get to the access, I'm ready to start fishing. Vest. I'm a huge fan of vests. Maybe not everybody likes vests, but what I like about them is they provide great warmth for the core, but additionally, without the sleeves, it's giving you great range of motion for fishing. I love musky fishing, bass fishing late in the fall. I like casting, so not being restricted or putting multiple layers of heavier clothing with a lot of insulation gives you way, way, way more the ability to move around and execute your boat side maneuvers or whatever it might be a lot more efficiently. So vest is a great deal. And then I like fishing with this Storm Skin. This is a Storm Skin full bib and jacket. So this stuff has got some water protection with it, but it's also, you can see this fluffy inside. It's super warm. So when you start out the day, I'll probably be wearing all of this on the first spot, but usually by the middle of the day, you're ready to shed your top layer. So I'll get rid of the exterior shell. I might be down to the vest. If I start getting warm in the vest, I shed the vest. And I almost always keep the bibs on, but it's pretty rare with this system that I'm not able to go out in the coldest of conditions that you would ever want to fish in a boat with and not be comfortable and also not be mobile. So I know this is kind of a lot of stuff to cover down on, but the layering, I'm sure everybody's heard people talk about layering and how important it is, but it really is. Once you get a system like this, you can be comfortable and fish longer throughout the season on both the bookends because it's just a more enjoyable experience. The more comfortable you are, the more fun you're going to have, the more fish you're going to catch. So thanks for listening to me talk about all of these different items that I like to carry in the boat. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. We've got all kinds of how-to fishing content coming out on Lindner's Angling Edge every week, and you can also watch our television series here as well. Those videos come out every Monday during the airing season. Thanks again.